seen as the hiring and the firing arm of the organization. But is that what HR is really about? Employers, do you really need HR in your organization? Employees, what should you know about human resource management? Well, tonight, we set the record straight, and we'll be discussing a lot about human resource management and how it applies to you. But first, a word from our sponsors.
The Office is brought to you by Renwick & Company Limited, Multi-Graphics powered by Expert Group and the Goddard Catering Group.
Are you getting the best out of your employees? Is your investment in this most costly asset really paying off? HRWise, in collaboration with the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, presents Rethinking HR. Be wise with your people portfolio. An HR forum designed to inspire business leaders to rethink their HR management approach. Join us to understand the new expectations of HR and the people-related changes that are necessary within your business. Contact HRWise at 458-4001 or info@hrwiseinc.com to register.
A great deal on my furniture. Great stuff. Super strong. Best thing on the market.
Your furniture says a lot about your business. For best quality, durability, and style, Global Office Furniture from Renwick is the only choice for any serious business. Don't be fooled by cheap supplies from other commercial houses. Let Global Furniture speak for your business. Think Renwick & Company. Think global, because value is always in style.
People are a company's single biggest asset and by far your largest expense. So managing your workforce is no easy task. There's productivity, engagement, talent management, discipline, labor laws, and the list goes on. Now there's a simple way with HRWise. The Office, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on ChoiceTV. Get a head start and see how easy HR can be.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. I'm very pleased to be joined by the Managing Director and Founder of HRWise, Miss Goretti Paul. Hi, Goretti.
Hi, Diedrian.
How are you doing?
I am wonderful, thank you.
Are you as excited as I am to be here?
I am even more excited than you are to be here.
Oh, really? Tell us a little bit about why.
Well, because The Office is another first for HRWise. When we started HRWise, one of the things we really focused on was sharing knowledge and sharing information to our employers and managers in particular. And I'm excited about The Office because I think it's an excellent forum to get the message out there and get the information out to the persons who need it the most.
I am just as excited because we have so many good things packed up in The Office for you. How about we give them a little bit of an idea of some of the things that we'll be talking about when we continue our episodes?
All right, so we'll be touching on a host of topics. We will be looking at discipline and grievance management, performance management, you know, things that happen in the office on a regular basis and how do we deal with them, what's the best way, some of the things in the labor code that we should be mindful of, you name it. We're talking general human resource related matters and general office related matters. So it's all about ensuring that we manage our people right so we can get the best out of our businesses.
And we also have some hot topics in there.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Sexual harassment is something that is coming up. We've seen it in the media, we've seen it abroad, but we want to definitely tackle what it means in the Caribbean. Do you think we're sensitized or too sensitized to sexual harassment? We can't even identify it. What do you think? You know what, we'll leave that topic. We will leave that topic for a little later on. But can you tell us a little bit more? Let's help to clarify what HRWise is all about, because everyone gets excited. They see this nice blue dress and they're like, oh, I like to see your uniform, but what is HRWise?
Yes, we get that question a lot.
We get that question quite a bit. So can you tell us a little bit more about HRWise?
So HRWise is a full-service human resource organization. And I'm happy to say, as far as we were aware, it's the only full-service HR organization in St. Lucia. So our aim is really to help employers do a better job of managing the human resources, the people, that most important asset.
Yes.
You know, and in a lot of cases, persons don't necessarily feel comfortable with the managing people side.
Yes.
You know, you could do almost everything else routinely, but when it comes to dealing with the people issues, it's
Yes.
usually a challenge for most persons. So HRWise is there really to provide the support that's needed.
And I'm happy you said that, because I mentioned earlier that HR really is generally seen as just hiring and firing. And one of the questions we get quite often is, are you just a recruitment organization? Or actually, do you do recruiting? When people just guess what HRWise is all about. But we do quite a bit more than just recruitment, don't we?
Absolutely. I mean, we do get that question a lot.
Yes.
But we look at the entire employee life cycle. So yes, we provide recruitment services, but we also do so many other things. Performance management systems. You know, we would provide training to employers, so they can train their teams. We also provide training to, you know, the general public. We have it open, so persons who wish to simply invest in their own personal development, they're welcome to register for one of our courses.
Or coaching as
Yes,
well.
we do compensation strategies as well. So you name it, HR consultancy, everything that falls under the HR umbrella. Provide general guidance on the labor code and what you should and should not do in different situations. So HRWise is really serving as a partner to other organizations, whether you have an HR department or not.
And I think one of the most interesting things, something that warms my heart, is when one of our clients will just pick up the phone and just call us and say, you know what, DG, I have this question. Can you help me out here? I'm stuck in a pickle.
Right.
Can you just provide quick guidance? And, you know, we're able to do that as well. We have a really good partnership with all our clients, that's really and truly. But we keep talking about HR. HR, and we said it's not just about hiring and firing. But what really is HR all about?
I think it's about the effective management of our people. And by that, it means that you need to look beyond just hiring the people.
Yes.
After you hire them, what do you do with them? You know, persons often complain that staff are not engaged or they don't produce at the level that is expected. But maybe it's because you're not doing some of the things that need to be done to ensure that they continue to perform at the standard that you need. So it requires you to pay attention to what you do for engaging your employees on a regular basis. How do you manage performance? How much training do you provide? I mean, it's a holistic conversation we need to have when we're talking about HR.
Absolutely. I certainly agree with you. But then there's something that I always hear. You know what? I've been in this business 15, 20 years without an HR department. I can do this. I've been doing it. I really don't need your help. How do we answer business
so
owners like that?
A few times.
Yes, we've gotten that because they're really good at what they do. Their function, they're doing a very good job of it. But what about the people management side, the HR interjection? How do they actually, how can we navigate that kind of question?
My answer to the people who say that I answer with a question.
Yes.
Just imagine how much more money you'd be making if you did it properly.
Imagine that.
You know, if you simply took a little more effort to really invest in your people and how you manage them and the resources that you assign to them and all of the other things that come with effective human resource management, if you were to do that, just imagine how much more money you could possibly make. Yes, you've been in business for 20 years and yes, you've been profitable, but you could very well be a whole lot more profitable if you did it right.
Absolutely. It's more than just hiring someone who is good at what they do, because at HRWise we focus on maximizing the full potential of your workforce. And that is something that you'll be hearing consistently here at the office. So you definitely want to grab a seat any single time the office comes on here on ChoiceTV. Well, Goretti, I've been having such a really good time talking about HRWise, the office, and everything that we have in store. But we have to take a deeper look into HR and strategy. But that's going to be on the other side of the break. Thank you so much for staying with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Are you getting the best out of your employees? Is your investment in this?
Your furniture says a lot about your business. For best quality, durability, and style, Global Office Furniture from Renwick is the only choice for any serious business. Don't be fooled by cheap supplies from other commercial houses. Let Global Furniture speak for your business. Think Renwick and Company. Think global, because value is always in style.
Hi, I'm Janika Simon. Join me Wednesdays at 9 p.m. where, for an hour a week, we'll dig into stories of relevance, covering local, roaming regional, and exploring international. To help me break it all down, I'll talk to the experts about who's doing right and what's going wrong. And then I'll take your calls. Give me your views on the topic of the week. Celebration or censure? Journalist. Wednesdays, 9 p.m. only on ChoiceTV.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Earlier we spoke a little bit about HRWise and who we are and what we do. We also spoke about the office and the role that we're going to be playing in your lives as we come through your TV screens every week. But we're going to be talking a little bit more about HR, because when we think of HR, Goretti, we hear about admin. Yes? How is HR different from administration? Because sometimes when someone does something bad, they're transferred to the HR department. But are we doing ourselves any favors by just transferring someone who we're not quite sure what to do with over to the HR department?
Absolutely not. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that organizations make, because yes, they treat HR as an administrative function, and so any administrative person who they may not necessarily have a full role for, they figure, we'll just put that person in HR. But HR has evolved significantly over the last few years, from the personnel mindset, which is where the admin came from, to one where HR is now required to serve as a strategic business partner. So it's no longer about simply processing leave forms or, ensuring that sick leave is processed to NIC. Yes, we need these things.
Yes.
But HR goes way beyond that, which is why right now we have HR information systems that we use to do most of the administration, because our role has evolved to that of a strategic support partner. So we need to change our mindset as it relates to that. And it means that for persons to fit into the HR role, they need to be skilled and qualified, and they need to have certain personality traits that will support the function in HR.
Tell me a little bit more about these personality traits that the HR professional is supposed to have.
First of all, you need to be able to interact well with people. So you need to have good interpersonal skills. You need to be warm. You need to be highly ethical. You need to be somebody who people will respect and look up to.
And trust.
Yes, and trust. So confidentiality is absolutely key as well.
And that's a common complaint.
Yes, we get that complaint a lot, that I cannot trust HR. Everything I say to them, somebody out there finds out. So we need to ensure that we identify the right people with the right skill sets and the right competencies to fill the HR role.
So is there a situation where we transfer someone over into HR? Can't we build them up? Or is it that if they're just a misfit, they're just a misfit? Can we develop that person?
I think in some cases you can help develop someone. If you recognize that they have the right skill sets, at least the foundational skill sets, you can put them on a performance development plan and help them to improve in the areas that they weak. Because everybody will have their weak areas. Exactly. However, there are some people who have no business being in HR. That's a fact.
Yes.
And I will not hesitate to say, the fact
as you have done in the past.
There are some people who are not fit to fill this position under any circumstances because they do not match the profile.
Now, you mentioned earlier that HR has evolved, and it's unfortunate, but in the Caribbean, we like to use the fact that we're in the Caribbean and we are a developing nations as a crutch to say, well, that's American and that's first world. How far behind are we? And what's your projection? Do you think we can ever really catch up? Because yes, there are some organizations that are taking the steps necessary to move with the times. But generally speaking, What's the outlook for the Caribbean?
Lord, I think we have a long way to go. Yes. However, we are making progress. I am seeing a lot more organizations starting to focus on HR. You will notice from the vacancy notices that you see out, you know, they're asking for HR managers who have the qualifications and skill sets and the right personality traits to fill the role. And so they're revisiting how they structure HR as a department. So we are seeing some progress. However, there's some businesses that have not taken that step forward. And so we really need to get them there, which is why we're doing the office, our HR forums on a quarterly basis where we invite employers to come in and have a conversation on different topics so they get to see how it is necessary to change their mindset on certain things related to human resource management.
And I realize you mentioned something earlier about strategic partnership as it relates to HR. Now, these two words put together sound very intellectual.
And very heavy.
Very, very heavy. And that, you know, we have quite a bit of entrepreneurs. And I don't want to scare them all the way with these strategic partnership. Yeah. What does it really mean when we think of HR and the strategic direction that it's supposed to be providing?
I mean, people get scared when you say strategy and they believe that it has to be this long document drawn out. But strategy really is ensuring that you have a plan, you know. That's generally what it is.
Yes.
In its simplest form. It's about having a clear vision of where you want to get to and how you're going to get there. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
And it does not necessarily mean that you have to come up with a 5-year plan if you don't feel like you're ready for that. You can do 6-month goals, 1-year goals, you know, but you set the direction that you would want to see your business take. And you agree the steps that you're going to take to get there, and that's what strategy is all about.
And so this can apply to large organizations, small organizations as well.
And for us at HRWise, every client we encounter, one of the first questions we're going to ask is, what is your strategy?
What is your strategy?
What are your overarching goals? Because anything we do for you must support that. Otherwise, you're wasting your money.
We're asking you, what is your strategy? And you can't come up with an answer. Don't feel bad about it, because we've asked quite a number of our clients and we've gotten blank stares. Isn't that right? What is your strategy? And they're like,
yes, and we had to walk them through the process and help them. It's not that difficult. It just requires you to have the answers to a few questions to understand exactly where you are and where you need to be. And you know, that's part of
too much.
And
can you give them an idea of what one of those questions would be? One of those specific questions we'd ask them as it relates to their strategy?
Well, the first question we're going to ask is, what do you want out of your business?
Yes.
You know, why are you even in business? What are you really trying to achieve? What are the biggest challenges that you're faced with now? What are the things that work well? You know, these are some of the questions that we would ask to help to, you know, guide the discussion around developing your strategy.
Well, I hope that you've been learning quite a bit tonight as we continue our discussion.
The Office is brought to you by Renwick & Company Limited, Multi-Graphics powered by Expert Group and the Goretti Catering Group.
The business environment is rapidly evolving. We must continually adapt to remain competitive. At HRWise, we help businesses create and sustain a competitive advantage through their people. Let us help you develop solutions for recruiting and selecting the right talent, improving employee engagement, managing performance, and much more. Realize the true potential of your workforce. Harness the power of your people. HRWise, we partner for success.
Great deal on my furniture. Great stuff. Super strong. Best thing on the market.
Your furniture says a lot about your business. For best quality, durability, and style, Global Office Furniture from Renwick is the only choice for any serious business. Don't be fooled by cheap supplies from other commercial houses. Let Global Furniture speak for your business. Think Renwick & Company. Think global, because value is always in style.
Hi, I'm Janika Simon. Join me Wednesdays at 9 p.m. where, for an hour a week, we'll dig into stories of relevance, covering local, roaming regional, and exploring international. To help me break it all down, I'll talk to the experts about who's doing right and what's going wrong. And then I'll take your calls. Give me your views on the topic of the week. Celebration or censure? Journalist. Wednesdays, 9 p.m., only on ChoiceTV.
Welcome back to the office. Thank you for staying with us. Now, we spoke earlier about HRWise, the office, and some topics. But you might be wondering, is this program for me? Of course it is. It's not just for employers, but employees. You need to know a little bit more about HR as well. It's not all about just the boring topics, because we have something in store for you. Right, Goretti?
Absolutely. In addition to providing support and guidance to employers and managers, we're also reaching out to the employees, individuals who may be job hunting, as an example. You can look out for tips on preparing your resume, preparing for your interviews, workplace etiquette, which is absolutely critical.
Communication.
Oh, yes.
And you know what? If you know anything about us, and I'm sure a few of you do, if you know anything about us, we are not boring.
Absolutely.
This is probably one of our best things about in our reputation. We are not boring, so we have something in store for just about everyone. But let's take a step back and talk a little bit more about HRWise and the brainchild behind it, because you need to understand who we are and how we are going to impact your lives. So, Goretti, tell us a little bit more about this wonderful organization that looks like a spa. If you come to our office, it looks like a spa. Absolutely gorgeous. You know that a lot of thought was put into HRWise and the functions that we execute. So, tell us more about HRWise.
So, how did HRWise come about?
Yes.
Well, I guess I was at a point in my career where I felt there was nowhere else to go. I was in the corporate space, and I had reached a point where I was ready to try something different and challenge myself a little more, because I was going through the routine. And so I decided, you know what, I need to start my own business, but what would I do? And I took some time to try to figure it out.
Yes.
And in the end, I decided that I'm going to stick to HR, because this is what I'm trained in, this is what I've been doing for many years, so why not? And at the time, one of the things that was very, I guess, popular or common,
yes,
was, I mean, we just kept seeing on the news how employers and the unions were basically at loggerheads all the time.
Yes.
And it just sparked something in my head, you know, like, why is it that we're doing such a bad job of managing our people that the unions have to be, you know, that upset about the entire relationship? And I thought, here is an opportunity to contribute to improving that.
Yes.
So HRWise was formed, bearing in mind there is a gap and we needed to address it. And, you know, I guess my desire to want to do something about it in my own little way,
yes,
you know, to impart the knowledge, some of the knowledge that I have gained over the years. And to help other organizations understand what it is that they're doing wrong, because in some cases it's not deliberate.
Yes.
They're doing what they do because they're doing the best that they can with what they have,
They don't know what they
better.
don't know. Yes.
Right. So, you know, HRWise is really a platform for sharing. That has been it from the beginning for me.
Now, HRWise sounds like a pun. Tell me a little bit about what went into this. Yes, the name HRWise.
Well, it was, I wanted it to be full service.
Yes.
So first I thought of it from the context of HRWise, as in anything related to HR.
Ah, nice.
But then it was HRWise, as in wise in HR.
Yes.
You know, like knowing what you're about.
Yes, yes.
And I'm like, that too.
We'll take it.
Yes. So, you know, the name stuck with me, and the rest is history. I mean, we've come a long way. I think it's been slow growth because it's a new area and persons have their misperceptions of what HR is and HR outsourcing and what that is, because some persons believe that I don't want an outsider having access to my information, that sort of thing. So it's been a journey of really trying to educate people about the benefits of doing business with us.
Yes.
But I think people are starting to get on board, and people are now starting to see the value of what we offer, because our concern is really about value.
Yes.
It's about how can we help you, you know, get the most out of your people. How can we help you increase the value to your business? And that has been our focus. We've gone on to introduce our EDGE program.
Your baby.
My baby, yes. My other baby, Eva from HRWise. So I wanted to give back. Always wanted to give back, always looking for ways to give back. And again, recognize that we have a void in our youth where they don't necessarily understand what is required for them to transition from school into the workplace. And so the EDGE program is directly tailored to suit.
Tailored.
Tailored.
Tailored. To
suit our young persons, yes.
And I love EDGE. EDGE is near and dear to my heart. It's something that we all, when we get to do it, we're very, very excited. It's one of the most fulfilling experiences that we can have. Because you see them move from week to week, and the relationship that that we develop over the period of time, just from just planning EDGE to the full-on execution to graduation, is so heartwarming.
Yeah, and for those who've not heard of the EDGE program, it's a 3-week workshop which is held during the summer for students between the ages of 16 and 21.
Yes.
So these are the students, at that age they're getting ready to enter the workplace, and so we're targeting them. Going through a host of topics. We look at workplace etiquette, we help them with their CV writing, we're preparing for interviews, we do mock interviews with them, have them all dressed up like it's the real thing.
And they're so excited.
Yes.
And nervous.
We have different persons come in and speak to them, address them, entrepreneurs from different fields. So we understand that not everybody is going to work in the office environment.
Right.
So we have persons from the media coming in, we have small businesses, persons who use their hands and are creative, artists, barbers, whoever, everybody who wants to be a part of the EDGE program is welcome to come and address the students and speak to them about their experience and share with them the knowledge that they've gained throughout the years, basically. Yeah. So, our very first program was a huge success. The feedback that we got was very, very encouraging.
Yes.
And so it gives us the boost, to keep doing this. And like you said, we have so much fun doing EDGE. We look forward to it every year.
Yes. Speaking of fun, we're basically out of time. But I implore you, you do want to stay with us. Follow us on all social media. We are there. HRWise on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Send us a question if you have one. Share with us any topic you'd like us to discuss. And we'll be more than happy to accommodate you. We've been, it's our first episode.
We did it.
Yes. See you on our very next episode. Thanks for staying with us.